Hello, and it's the second part of the objective where we're tracing the general process of how one cell becomes trillions of cells. And so we're up to the stage called cell differentiation. And in this process here, we left off in the last stage where the gastrula, where cells start to move into different areas where eventually those cells will start to become different cells. And that's why we call it cell differentiation. During this time, which were originally stem cells found in that embryo, now start to become different cells with different jobs. And so this is of major importance, especially in the area of scientific research, where scientists are able to stop this process where stem cells have not yet become to differentiate. And those stem cells are very useful for possibly curing diseases, because scientists are able now to convert these cells, to stop them, and then use them to make tissues that are needed or cells that are needed by individuals that are suffering from different diseases. And so if we look at this diagram a little closer, okay, we went from the zygote to the blastocyst and then to the gastrula, where at this stage the cells start to have differentiation occurring, where different parts such as the ectoderm will become skin cells, also brain cells, okay, or germ cells, okay, the area where originally cells will differentiate into sperm cells and egg cells in this human being further on in their development. The mesoderm area, which will form future cells, muscle cells, for example, that are found in your heart, the cardiac muscle cells, skeletal cells, red blood cells, smooth cells. The endoderm, which will form later on pancreatic cells, forming the pancreatic tissues and the pancreas as the organ, or lung cells, or future tissues or lung, which are the organs that will form later on. Okay, so a very important process where cells now start to be identified in terms of the different jobs that they will eventually function as. From day 10 to day 14, pregnancy is established, and other parts that are very important are forming. The amniotic cavity, which is a very important portion that will include the amniotic fluid. And we continue. The vertebrae starts to form, which is very important, as you know, will develop later on into the backbone of the organism, with the nervous system being protected by it. And by day 21, we have our official embryo clearly visually seen, that the different areas are very distinct, that allows scientists, doctors, etc., to identify this stage as being embryonic, the embryo stage, as different organs are beginning to visually be visible and start to function as well. The embryo continues to grow and develop between weeks 3 to 8. And around week 8, you can clearly see now the heart of the embryo, the head, the eyes, the limbs, okay, and you could actually see the heart beating, okay, in pictures that are taken of of live embryos. By week 9, we call this stage a fetus, and that fetus stage lasts between the weeks of 9 to 40. At 12 weeks, doctors call this the first trimester, and during the first trimester, the fetus is mostly developed, but is growing very rapidly as well. During the second and third trimester, growth continues at a high rate. The brain and lung develop, and the cell continues, all the cells continue to divide by mitosis. By week 20, the baby is fully formed. And by week 36 to 40, you have babies being born, about 9,000 every year. And so we've gone to the end of our lecture, or is it really just the beginning? We will see in our next lecture series. Have a great day.